Good morning. It's Saturday, February 6, 2016 at the Salt Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we're here for RootsTech 2016. I'm Margaret Eves, and I'm here with D. Joshua Taylor, who is president of the Federation of Genealogical Societies and soon to be. When do you begin to be?
I started February 1.
And president of the New York Genealogical and Biographical Society and a co-star genealogist for Genealogy Roadshow on the PBS network. And thank you for meeting with me and agreeing to talk to me and talk to my listeners.
I'm more than happy to.
Okay. So, having worked in television now, how do you see video, and especially online video, as playing a role in helping genealogists tell their ancestor stories now and into the future?
You know, I think that it's going to play a very, very large role. In fact, it might replace a lot of things because it's so easy now to create a video and it's so much more interactive. So I think that it's easier to tell the story alongside the documents when you're doing it through a video. I think we're going to see a lot of changes with that. You know, in the future, I think it's very, very possible that you will tap into a video experience, even if it's sort of even an interactive video where you're working with a librarian or an archivist somewhere and actually do your research. I think we're going to see that coming. There's nothing stopping us from that standpoint. You know, what would it be like if you could sit here and tap into the librarian at the New York Public Library and have a reference conversation, and then record that and have that for future generations.
That's a great.
So anything's possible when you look at technology.
And are you seeing genealogists creating videos and to share their research now?
A little bit. Certainly seeing genealogists, particularly on YouTube, there are several who are sort of showing how they organize, talking about a brick wall that they have. It's not as many as I would like to see in that case. I think the technology is still intimidating for some a little bit, but I think it's absolutely an essential thing that we should do. I think the easiest thing to do is to talk into a microphone or talk into a webcam for sort of 4 or 5 minutes about an ancestor.
Are you seeing ways to help kind of promote that and progress into doing that, especially genealogists?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, RootsTech's actually a really good example of a place that gathers together the vendors where they can discuss it. But I think that one thing that I'd love to see is some of the commercial companies like MyHeritage and Ancestry and Find My Past start to incorporate video as a default function within their online trees, within their research. Why can we share a record on Facebook and not record a video about a record we find?
Right. Yeah. I guess that's coming.
I would hope so. I mean, it would seem natural that it's going to come to that point because you think of Periscope and Snapchat and all that. I mean, the new generation they talk in Snapchat. Why aren't we integrating that somehow into family history?
Right. So that's going to be a key thing
Yes.
if we're going to keep it going.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have to find ways to adapt the existing sort of search technology into these new ways of sharing, and video is a huge component of that. Online video is absolutely essential now. So I think we're missing the boat by not integrating that.
Okay. And in your work as doing Genealogy Roadshow and maybe seeing other people doing video,
Yep.
what are one of the more compelling reactions you've seen, like when they've shared it and to a young person or to someone?
Yep.
Give an example.
It's hard to pick just one, but I will say there is, for a young person in particular, there's always the first moment that they see their ancestor's signature or even their ancestor's name or back. We use the mood board on the show, so we're on video, and you see that the camera's on them, and you see the image move, even though we're sort of just touching it, just enlarging it. And when they can actually look and experience that document, I wish we could capture it for everyone because it's such an amazing. And realize that that's my great grandfather. He's no longer just Grandpa Joe to me. He's that's his name and that's his immigration record. That's his census record. Those are really, really special and really important moments.
Yeah. And in your experience, what are some of the common challenges or pain points that genealogists have when they are trying to share their research?
It's a very difficult question to answer because I think there's a lot of them, but one of the pain points I know for me is that I have to be a storyteller and not a genealogist. We encounter this all the time on Genealogy Roadshow, where we have 50 documents to share, but in reality, we have to whittle it down to a 6-minute segment. And how many documents can you really show a person within 6 minutes before their eyes glaze over, but also to make sure they're understanding what you're talking about? And so in many cases, it is, how do you tell a story and use the documents as illustration versus simply giving them a research report?
So you have to do that as part of the show.
Yes,
You've
yes.
got to write the story.
Absolutely, and as I see other genealogists sort of sharing stories with the family members, it's very easy for it to turn into a very long-winded research report. I found them in the census, and now they're here, and now they're here. It's that short, that 30-second tagline about an ancestor. What's the tagline in that case?
It's like an elevator speech.
Exactly. And so I think one of the challenges as genealogists actually having to create those elevator speeches for their ancestors, because we want to tell so much more about the story and everything we're finding. But when you're sharing the story, it has to be that short story.
Now, were you at the Thursday keynote when Steve Rockwood was asking all of us to think of an ancestor, and then he said, now turn to your neighbor and tell a 60-second story and take turns. And I heard some guys saying, I don't like doing this because it's more the crowd thing. But do you have a story that you thought of? Do you have
I did actually. He's actually a first cousin 3 times removed, but he was a circus performer in the 1850s and 1860s. And he traveled all around the world. He was born in Missouri. He died in Bombay, India. He lived in Australia. He went to China. He went to Italy. He went to he traveled the entire globe. And when I think about him and his family, all of his children but one died very, very young. I think about the struggles he had, his career and his desire to express his creativity as an artist, and literally to be able to travel all around the world, that absolutely inspires me. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be born in Missouri in 1839, die in Bombay, India in 1870, and travel the entire globe.
Yeah, that's a great one. And that's very visual too.
Yes.
Have you found any photographs?
I have photographs of him. I have in my office at home. I have a playbill from a theater in Boston he was performing that I found in an archive somewhere, and then found another copy of it at an antique store. So I was able to get that. And so I have visual representations of him. I have pictures of him performing. He rode horses. I have all the ads from the newspapers when he was in town. So I have a lot about his story. That I want to write the book one day, but even more is I want to write the video and sort of produce the video about his life, because he's an incredible guy.
Really? Oh, that would be one to share with your cousins, nieces, nephews, whatever.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's great. I love that. Anything else you want to add in terms of getting genealogists to use use the technology?
I would only add that start. It really is. I will be completely honest. I never saw video as being a part of how I could do my research. When I very first sort of, when it came out, I was like, would I use that? And then I was like, this is being stupid. And I use video now to keep my research log. When I come back from the library, I can record on my camera on my laptop, and I talk about everything I looked at, and then I preserve at least that thought sort of in the moment. And I can share that with somebody and say, I went to the library, and here's what I found.
Yeah.
So that there's ways I can do the research process, but also in the sharing process. I'd much rather talk about my circus performer on a video with images I could show of different things than just sort of lay out document by document. It doesn't actually capture his whole story.
Right.
It's in the images and in sort of seeing that visual movement of place to place.
Yeah. That's cool. Anything else you want to add?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your meeting with me and sharing your insights with the video genealogy listeners.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, thanks.